Hey boys and girls, welcome back. I got another caddis pattern here. Surprise, surprise. This seems to be all I'm tying lately. Mainly because I fish them all year long and I don't replenish as often as I probably should. This one is another quick tie, very similar to the last caddis pattern that we had. It's kind of like thread Frenchy, but this one is called the Antron Caddis Pupa. More or less, you know, we're using Antron yarn. Okay. A little bit different, a couple different ways you can go about this. As far as the rest of the materials that we have, I got Semperfly Nano Silk. That's their copper, as I just showed you. Antron yarn, this is a brown. I found like a rusty color CDC feather. And the beads that we're using are an autumn color by Firehole. This is a 3.0 millimeter split tungsten. And a couple different things that you know, we're gonna try here. So let's get started. The ribbing on this particular bug is kind of where you can add all the variations. Let's put a hook in the vise. The hook I'm using here, this is Firehole, or no, it's not. This is an Orvis 1 POR, which is kind of their caddis check nymph hook. And good size for this. It's about the length that we're gonna need. The curve is something that, you know, you can alter a little bit, you know, by building that body up. So we're gonna start first by tying in the ribbing. Build this up just a touch. Does anybody else do that? They hold on to their tag for life and death. Okay, as far as the ribbing goes, one of the other things we're using here, just some ostrich herl. This is in a brown. And I always tie these in butts first. They do have a concave and a convex side. So try to tie them in so that the concave side is facing the hook. Go back up to the top. And I cut off a piece of Antron yarn here. This is probably about, you know, 6 inches or so. I will fold it in half and try to get all of those fibers lined up. When we get to the end, you can tell it's a mess. Cut that off as clean as you can. Set that on top. I'm gonna wrap this back, get it inside the bead there. And once we get this down in here, I'm going to take this up to the top and build this up just a touch more right at the bead. Then we're going to tie this off. Okay. Gonna hang it here. So what we have created more or less is a dubbing loop. If you're not going to use the ostrich herl, you know, for your ribbing. A lot of times I've used CDC, any type of, you know, short dubbing, fox, squirrel, you name it. You can put whatever you want in there, more or less. What you want to do, I get my little tool here, and we're just going to cord this up really well. We don't want to cord it up past where it starts to, see how it's starting to cave in on itself? That's probably about right. We are going to wrap this underneath one time, and then we're gonna start to go forward here. This is, if you do use this as a dubbing loop, it creates a pretty neat effect. It's just as easy to wrap this, you know, with a hurl or ostrich hurl or anything that's short, just to give it that little bit of a hairy type of a look. Pull that out of there. Just going to continue to wrap this up to the bead. As I'm doing this by hand, it makes it a little bit tougher. You have to make sure that you are continually twisting it, because if you let it slip, that Antron kind of explodes. It comes completely undone. A couple extra times before I cut it, and after I cut it, probably go back a segment or two and just really bind that down. Okay, now you can fish it like that if you want, you know, without any of the you know, ribbing on it. It's a little bit different look, but it works. Hang this here again. All right, now you can see all these segmentations in here. What I'm gonna try to do is wrap this so that the ostrich hurl goes in between a lot of those. I've tried this with different materials, even some organza, which is a lot more durable. You do have to be careful, you know, with these ostrich hurls in that hook point, because they are very fragile. So if you just try to get it in the grooves there, I try to skip every other one. Sometimes it can be a little overdressed. Okay, you take it right up to the bead from there. Just keep tension on it. Okay. Turn that off. Now, my next favorite thing in the world, splitting the thread. Never been very good at this. But what you want to do is get your CDC. I stack two similar sized feathers on top of each other, okay? Then you put it in your clip. Make sure that you are leaving, you know, some space between your clip and your CDC stems, because you're going to cut in between that. And it is easier. I use big scissors. Just trim that right along, and you end up with this. okay? Now to split this thread, I got a little tool here because I have a very hard time seeing this a lot of times. This being a 12-aught thread, if you spin it counterclockwise and rub something against it, it can help things a little bit easier. This little device is pretty cool. It's made by Stonfo, and yeah, it saved my eyes a lot. It makes that a little bit easier to do. All right, so if you've never done the CDC before, it's better if it is spread out a bit, so you can see the separation in the fibers there. I put the clip the whole way through, let go of it, of the string, so it starts to get tight again. Then you're just gonna work it right off the edge of your vise there, not vise, your clip. And then spin it clockwise. And push that up a little bit. I don't like it to get too tight up. Like you don't really want to dub this to create the look on the bug. You want it to be wild and woolly. Okay, we're gonna wrap this in here. Once we get to these fibers, we just want to make sure that we're pulling back as we're wrapping this. Okay, there we go. Tighten that in there a little bit better. Tie this off. Grab your brush, give this thing a workout. Try to mess these fibers up, make them a little crinkly. Brush them off to the side a little bit so that you can see the back of it a little bit better. Any stray fibers that you have, see to pull them out, pinch them off. There's nothing that seems out of place or extra long. And there you have it, Antron Caddis Pupa. I like this color combination of fall, this yellow head, this yellow beak. It's called autumn. Looks really good on anything that's brown. Doesn't kind of wash out the color of the rest of it there. So tie some of these up. Catch some fish, let me know what you get. If you have any questions, just send me a message in the chat. And good luck. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.